competitive advantage, product, and speed. Now that you've listed out your competition, as you see it today, how can you get ahead and stay ahead? How can you climb that startup mountain faster and better than your competitors? There are a number of factors you can consider. Let's start with product and speed. First, product. A better product gives you a competitive advantage. To differentiate your product, you can focus on various aspects of your product. It could include price, features, performance, usability, maybe your distribution system, customer service, and more. Remember that it's very hard to master all of these things, especially when you're just starting. So you need to identify your company's strengths and capabilities and map it against the needs of your customer to understand which aspects of your product should stand out. One thing to keep in mind is a mistake a lot of startup entrepreneurs make, thinking that they make their product better by adding more features. While this is sometimes the case, most times it isn't. It turns out that making a product simple to use is as important a differentiator as delivering more features. The key, as we discussed in the module Understanding Your Customer, is to listen to your customer. Don't assume that you know what will make your customer want your product more. Ask them, and then ask them again. Another key thing to think about is price. The majority of startup entrepreneurs we talk to go to lower price as their differentiator. Taking the time to get underpricing is one element that differentiates the capable, experienced startup founder. It begins with asking questions well. One thing that drives entrepreneurs to think about price is the quick feedback from customers. A lot of times when you ask your customer what would make them buy your product, which aspect to focus on, they'll say price. It's the simplest thing to think of, often the first thing that comes to mind. But listen to me carefully. Customers don't buy price, they buy value. If the value is only in price, that's what they pay for. If the value comes from other things, that's what they pay for. Often it's utility or quality that solves their problem more easily, more thoroughly, more effectively. They'd take your product even if it costs them more than your competitors. Don't give up that revenue without making sure. It's your job to find the real motivation behind what the customer is saying. This again goes to how good you are at active listening, described in that module we just discussed, Listening to Customers. When iPhones launched, they were much higher priced and had fewer features than its competitors. The competitor's product was cheaper, feature-rich, and backed by one of the biggest companies in the world. However, the iPhone offered simplicity, convenience, and a cool factor, which was value to customers that they were looking for. If you want to create a differentiation for your product, think of the following. What product aspects do your target customers favor? What do they need? What do they find value in? What product aspects have your competitors ignored? That's a real pain for your customers. How can you solve it better? Remember, it can be simplicity, access, ease of use. What product aspect can you differentiate based on your current capabilities? Let's talk about another differentiating factor, speed. How fast you can take your product to market and acquire loyal customers faster than your competitors. Going fast and gaining quick traction with your customers will help you overtake your competitors in the short and medium term. If you go fast, your next move might be unpredictable for competitors, and they'll not have enough time to react. This strategy works well when you're in a first mover position in the market. WhatsApp was a first mover. It continued to provide its product for free and aggressively acquire users so that no other mobile instant messaging service could keep up. But watch out, growing too fast without having a solid foundation, robust systems, and enough capital can make you fall hard. E-commerce unicorn Snapdeal became a unicorpse because it was growing too fast without clear differentiation in their strategy and sustainable systems in place. If you want to create your differentiations through speed, think about the following. Do you have the resources in terms of people and infrastructure, processes, distribution, systems, and capital to be able to go fast? Will going fast in your market give you wins? In terms of customer acquisition, market share, unique differentiation, or on the other hand, it could knock you down. Take a look. What would be the best strategy for you to create a differentiation based on speed? One last point about speed. While we've covered speed to market as a competitive edge, I want to talk for a moment about the speed of life as a startup. In looking at literally thousands of startups, there's one thing that's common for all of them. They never have enough time and resources to do all they want, the way they want. They need to do hundreds of things, and there's only so many hours in the day and so many people to work on those issues and needs. There are universally two things that differentiate successful venture-backed startups. First, they're good at juggling and triaging a lot of things, focusing on things that matter, and setting aside things that seem important but aren't. Second, as this is where it relates to speed, they're working at a full-out rate, and every member of their team is doing the same. The speed and intensity in which great teams work differentiates them from the competition. As an investor, this is one of the early things we look for. A startup is called a startup sprint for a reason. Business as usual for a startup is likely not going to work. So make sure, in addition to getting all the elements we're discussing set for your startup, that you and your founding team get all the things in the rest of your life set so that when you say go, you're ready to rock at warp speed with full commitment to achieve the next near impossible activity, which is what a venture-backed startup is.